So the Supreme Court had a sidebar, I guess, which is not an official ruling, but usually when it happens, it winds up eventually becoming one, about the banning of felons having guns is unconstitutional. And they're like, well, maybe not violent. Well, listen, I'm considered a violent felon. Am I a violent person? Hell no. If I went out and bought a gun right now, that shit would stay in my house. Unless there was other people with guns coming into my house, or there was people with guns outside. It was some shit where I knew me going out and using it, 100% would be understood. You feel what I'm saying? Or in a situation where law is lawless. In so many words, right? You would never see me on no shit thinking, like, cause I know the laws about self-defense. I know if I'm in public, motherfuckers start fucking with me and shit. If he punched me, I can't shoot him. Even if he stabbed me, it's debatable these days if I could shoot him. And I think it would also come down to they try to say, well, he stabbed him in a non-fatal artery. You know what I'm saying? So technically it was not lethal force. But I know the laws about this shit. I'm not even legally licensed to carry. I ain't gonna speak on further than that, but I ain't even legally licensed to carry. I got a lot of people around me that is, but I'm not legally licensed to carry. And I know the laws about when you can pull that shit, when you went too far, all that shit. You leave the front door and you in the yard, especially if they're retreating, in a lot of states, totally different ballgame. That does not cover the castle doctrine, especially if they're retreating. Like what that NFL dude did, he should have known he going to jail. I think that's what's going to happen. He going to be found guilty. Because he came out the yard. And not to mention, you saw me shooting an AR, that shit would not be like that. It would not look like that. I'm going to just put that out there. There's a lot of reasons I had such a reputation and was hired to do certain things by criminal elements. Because I'm good at it. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not one of these dudes who go shoot 100 holes into a building. I'm not saying I was a hitman. I'm not saying that. Let me be clear. I'm saying I'm not going to have dumping 50 rounds at a target I'm not even hitting wind up in someone's apartment complex. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you feel what I'm saying? I'm more logically aware than that. I know the laws about shit to a T to where cops know that shit about me. So, in reference to what the Supreme Court's thinking about doing, you need to be clear too. Violent felons, if it's clear they've had a long period of time since they last offense where they've not been violent at all. Because listen, you can reform yourself from that. I'm proof of that. Especially if it was a medical issue causing you to be violent. I mean, I'll put it like this. I get violent if I have to. But it's not going to be what I have to. Back when I was on lithium, I did not have to. I just thought I did. It's not like that no more. So I'm making this video so that hopefully it can tell the Supreme Court, listen, expand on that a bit more. Because not all violent, you can't just throw a label of violent felons. Because some of us is not the type of motherfucker, well, we the same type of motherfucker, but we not that loose cannon gonna shoot up anything just because. You putting a gun in my hand right now is not turning me into Tupac and Juice. You feel what I'm saying? So I'd like to see it if they would say, okay, violent felons, if there's been a time that's really proven they've changed their way, they went through the programming, they completed their sentence, and they should do it the same way they do for voting. Now, if you get out and then you do some other shit again, maybe, but it still should be like a case-by-case basis and it should have to have its own hearing applied to it. You feel what I'm saying? It shouldn't just be something they can just stick on anything and say, oh, violent felon. Because there's a lot of non-violent felons, you put a gun in their hand, they're going to be Tupac in the movie Juice. They're going to wind up like Bishop dead on the roof. I'm out this bitch, man. Shout out Double R Beats, by the way.